Hey, welcome back to another episode in Roblox scripting for beginners. So last time we talked about how to make a kill brick, and this is our brick right here, and this was our script for the kill brick, for the lava brick. And so I'm going to go over more on arguments. Uh, Last time I talked about how this touched event passed on the part that touched the lava to this function, and this bacon here was called an argument. And so I'm going to go over some more about how that works. And oops, wrong script. So here's our empty script, and what we're going to do is we're going to make the game print out in the output window. We're going to make it print something out using arguments. So first let's create a function, and remember to do that we just type function and then we name it, like let's call it Bob, and then we're gonna put here whatever we want also, and we're just gonna let's just put X, and then we are going to go print X. And print is a function that it pretty much puts text into this output bar here, or not bar but output window. And yeah, so then we just do end, and that's our simple little function. And to make it actually do it, because it's not going to do anything right now since we haven't told it to actually run the function. And to run the function we go Bob and then parentheses, and then whatever we want to print out in the function is what we're going to put here. And since print can only use a string value, we could do I like bacon, and so string values, a string value is a value that it can have numbers, it can have letters, we could have 1, 2, 3 just right there. And a string value is always in quotations. And let's just replace that with X. And so we're going to go Bob, I like cheese. And what that's going to do is print out X. Now, instead of doing all this, let's comment that out so that doesn't even happen. We could just do print I like cheese, but this way is, we're doing it this way just so I can teach you about arguments. And so let's run the script, or not the whole script, but let's run the game, and this button runs it. And as you can see, it says I like cheese. And let's see how that worked. Is we declared the function and called it Bob, and then had it do stuff. It had it print X, and then we told it to run Bob with the first argument I like cheese. Now, so when it does that, it runs the function Bob and with this argument X, and then it says to print X. Now in this case, this X here is equal to I like cheese because that's what we put in the parentheses, and so it therefore printed out X, which was equal to I like cheese. Now what we can also do is this. We put a comma right there, and then let's do 5 and then 6. So then we could run the function with the first argument being I like cheese, and then the next one being 5, and then the next one being 6. And so, but in order to use this 5 and 6 in our function, if we wanted to, we would have to do comma here, 5, and then 6. Or no, not that. That's not correct. Let's do X or Y and Z. So we got X, Y, and Z. Those are our 3 arguments. And same down here. These are our 3 arguments. And so we're going to print X, and then we're also going to print y plus z. And so let's run this again, and I'm going to explain how that works in a sec. So I like cheese, and then it prints out 11, which is equal to 5 plus 6. So let's reset that. And so how this worked is when we called the bob function, we had the first argument, I like cheese, and then we set the second argument to 5 and the third to 6. And then we named when we called, or not called, but when we declared this function, when we created it, we had the 3 arguments x, y, and z, and so we can use x, which would be I like cheese, and then y, which would be 5, and then z, which would be 6. And so what it did is it printed out x, which was equal to I like cheese, and then it printed out y plus z, which was equal to 5 plus 6, which is 11. Now, so let's run that again just to demonstrate one more time. I like cheese, 11. So that's kind of how arguments work. You can use as many arguments as you want, and you can name them what you want. So we can rename this and call it Kevin, George, and let's call it Bacon. Now we can also use different numbers, of course. Let's do 7, 8, and we would also, if we change these, we'd also need to replace these here. So Kevin and George plus Bacon. Now, when we're saying print George plus Bacon, we're also saying print 7 plus 8, because George is equal to 7 and Bacon is equal to 8 because we passed on these 2 arguments. Now print can, even though you normally use a string, it can also print numbers, and so that's one exception to it. And yeah, so let's replace this with George plus Bacon, and run that one more time, and we have I like cheese and 15. And then if we wanted to, we could also do Bob again. So Bob, I like popsicles, even though I probably spelled that wrong. And then remember that end quote, and then let's see, 3 and then 6, and then run it. And then so what it does is it goes I like cheese and then I like popsicles, because it did Bob twice with different arguments. Now one thing that could happen is if you put in like a string value, just call it string right there, this print would try and add string to 3, and that doesn't work, and that would return an error. See, attempt to perform arithmetic on local Bacon, because Bacon is not a number, it's a string, so you cannot perform arithmetic on strings. Arithmetic is like adding and subtracting and stuff like that. So that's all I have time for now. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time.